Then she turned back to the boy. "Hello, Nate." Beth squatted down to be on his level and said, "Why do you think I'm dressed as a snow library lady?" Nate leaned back, squinting his right eye as he studied Beth as if she were a riddle to be solved. After a few moments, his face cleared and he said, "Because we're reading stories about snow?" "Yes!" Beth held up her hand for a high five, and Nate reached back and slapped her palm with his, giving it his all. "Hi, Beth, Lindsey." Kelly Bryce, Nate's mother, joined them. "He's very excited for story time today." "So am I," Beth cried. She held out her hand, and Nate took it without hesitation. As they departed for the children's section where the storytime room was, Beth called over her shoulder, "See you at lunch." Lindsey waved and turned back to her computer. The cursor on the blank document in front of her blinked impatiently. She glanced at the notes she'd made on the legal pad beside her. Surely, writing a class description and choosing software could not be more difficult than getting her master's degree in information science, right? She studied her notes, felt suitably daunted, and decided she needed to get up and do a walkabout of the library. Avoidance? Yes, but as the director of the library, she tried to meet and greet as many patrons as she could during her short time on the reference desk. Also, it gave her a chance to browse the new books. She passed through the adult reference area, which was quiet, and moved to the general fiction section. 3 of the study carrels were in use by local college students, cramming for their fall semester finals, and several more patrons were browsing. In the periodical area, Milton Duffy was in the corner in his usual position, standing on his head while he did his yoga practice. His eyes were shut, so Lindsey didn't interrupt him. He was one of the town's biggest advocates of the library, led the chess club every Wednesday afternoon, and was dating Mayor Cole. So Lindsey was fine with him standing on his head wherever his heart desired. She reached the prominently displayed new bookshelves by the front door and paused. The holidays were a little less than 2 weeks away, and the first December snow had fallen, leaving the town blanketed in white and fully representing the famed New England Christmas charm. She wanted something to read that matched the holiday spirit. She supposed she could revisit a classic like Little Women, but there was so much more going on in the novel than the holidays, and she didn't want to overcommit emotionally. She supposed she could read a holiday thriller or just watch Die Hard. She picked up a Meg Langslow mystery set during Christmas by Donna Andrews. This definitely had the humor and heart she was seeking. She scanned the bookshelf for more and scored a holiday Royal Spinous mystery by Rhys Bowen. Christmas in England with Lady Georgie. Her evening was looking up. Lindsey left the new books and approached circulation, taking her place in line. She wanted to ask her colleague how things were going, but she didn't want to cut ahead of anyone to do it. There was only one person in front of her, and Lindsey tried to identify her from the back, which wasn't easy, given that, like everyone else during this December cold snap, the patron was swaddled in winter gear. From the back, she was a tall woman, almost as tall as Lindsey, with chin-length, wavy dark hair. She was wearing a long navy wool coat over wide-legged tweed pants and thick-soled brown lace-up boots. She had a Louis Vuitton handbag dangling from her elbow, and a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses were pushed back on her head. When she turned, Lindsey recognized her profile. It was Helen Monroe, who had just been installed by the Briar Creek Friends of the Library as the town's writer-in-residence. Helen had been working in one of the study rooms in the library for a little over a week, and other than the reception to welcome her, Lindsey hadn't had much of an opportunity to speak with her. Lindsey had tried to engage Helen in conversation the few times their paths had crossed, but Helen hadn't been receptive. Still, Lindsey was always polite. She wanted anyone who used the library to know that they were among friends, even if they wanted to keep their distance. Paula Turner, the head of circulation, was manning the desk and assisting Helen. Paula was known for her elaborate tattoos, although they weren't currently visible beneath the turtleneck sweater she was wearing, and her color.